Oh, you know, growing up, you know, boys achieve status in their social groups through humor, through witty banter. And, you know, of course, I've always loved humor my whole life, but, you know, women are sort of taught to achieve status through looking pretty and just, you know, laughing at the boys' jokes, or at least traditionally, which is really kind of strange because, you know, looking at the women I hung out with in college, I mean, they're all pretty funny. But I think that from early on, a lot of women just, they don't really develop the sense of humor or cultivate a sense of humor. They're not encouraged to by society at large. This is not to say that women are any less funny than men. In fact, I have a comic in the an issue, it's coming out now, I think, of the Wellesley Women's Review of Books, addressing Christopher Hitchens and some of the other doubters who say women aren't funny.
They say women
I got
aren't
to draw
funny.
Christopher Hitchens, which I relished.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
I nailed him.
I mean, it's also the edit. I mean, there's so many ways cartoons end up in print, and a lot of times there's also the editors. I mean, the editors in this, we have a problem with editors in this country because editors are often also extremely, they tend to be middle-aged white males who like the work of guys who remind them of themselves. It's like the guy who's like, oh, you know, he went to he went to the same school as me. He's like me, and there's some of that.
There's something very subtle that goes on. I notice this like when I'm reading Rolling Stone or some other publications where the writing style is very. Can I say something slightly lewd?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. I call it the dick and ball school of writing because it's just always throwing in, you know, this guy really had balls. You know what I mean? It's like this very strong writing style that it can be very witty and funny, but I feel like, you know, it's just not, you know, I can do witty and
you can be lewd too.
And lewd, but not in quite the same
You're also
way.
the creator of Julie, which is an excellent
Thank you.
commentary on this kind of thing.
So, well, women can be lewd. I'm not
And you
saying
draw
that.
for Alti publications that are tolerant of lewdness.
Yes.
But she's talking about a different kind of lewdness.
I guess what I'm saying is there's sort of, sometimes I get the feeling reading,
there's a boys club.
More in reading print than looking at cartoons, that there's an aesthetic there that is not quite something that I fit into necessarily. And I hope that I'm just, you know, I hope I'm wrong.
So
you feel there's kind of a collective male taste that excludes a woman's point of view?
Sometimes I mean, the thing is, again, it's so hard for us to have answers to this because it is a puzzle. I mean, again, maybe women are just too smart to get into a profession that's in so much trouble, but I really think that's just not it at all. I mean, it's because there are, for example, I've heard that in journalism school there are just as many, if not more, journalism students that are women, but somehow when things come out the other end, I mean, everyone in journalism is having trouble now, somehow it's the men who end up getting promoted to get those managerial positions, get those editorial positions. It's, I don't know.
There are still probably subtle forces at work, but...
So beyond, it goes well beyond then, you think, the interest in people in the profession. You know, you walk through a Comic-Con and it's 90% male. You see the kids waiting for the portfolio reviews at the Comic-Con and they're 98% male. You see the kids sitting and drawing when they're 10 years old and scarfing up the comic books and drawing superheroes obsessively, and they're male.
3/4 of my Facebook fans are male. 25% are female, which is probably better than average. Cartoonist, I guess.
Yeah, I think there still is this idea that comics and cartoons are a boys' game.
It's just gendered male. I mean, historically, it's just been gendered male, and that's.
But it doesn't have. I mean, it doesn't have to be that way. I guess I wish I could say we'd seen more progress because, you know, maybe 50 years ago there were a handful of women editorial cartoonists, and now there are a few more than a handful. But
no, I was actually,
that's not a huge amount of progress.
One comment I get a lot on my site is a complaint that I don't have more women cartoonists on the site. Of course, the answer for that is that I don't have more good women cartoonists available to put on the site.
Yeah, no, it's hard. I mean, again, like I said, the number of women who do political cartoons has not increased significantly. But I do see more and more women at not necessarily like things like San Diego Comic-Con, which really does, I think the superhero comics world certainly is guys,
Right.
but I do see more and more women in the world of graphic novels. You know, I mean, obviously Alison Bechdel's been in the field for years, but there are more and more Alison Bechdel's. And
I have heard from quite a few younger women who found my work in high school or college, and they're very enthusiastic, and it does give me some hope. I mean, my theory that just the more women cartoonists there are, the more there will be. I'm hoping that holds true.
That's right. This video is going to create more women cartoonists.
We're generating more right now.
It's yeah.
Okay, well, let's wrap up, and maybe I could ask each of you to talk a little bit about your own work and your creative process and what's going on with you. Jen?
Well, I do a weekly cartoon called Slowpoke, and it runs in mostly alternative newspapers around the country and the Funny Times, and it's appeared in a few places like the LA Times and Ms. Magazine.
We're on video.
Oh, sorry.
So, yeah, so, and basically, I try to do both politics and social commentary. Lately, I've been doing a lot of cartoons about technology, because that's what interests me. I think, you know, a lot of interesting material in digital technology right now. I like to make fun of it at the same time that I use it, like Twitter.
Is there anything particularly female or alty about your perspective on that?
I like to think that I try to make some jokes that are maybe a little skewed, a little outside mainstream humor.
Okay.
Twisted. The twisted world of Slowpoke.
Yeah. But see, by saying that, automatically makes them not funny. So I can't say.
Mikhaela.
Sure. Quickly, I do a weekly cartoon called The Boiling Point. I occasionally do more than that a week, but usually just the one cartoon. It also runs in alt weeklies and on some progressive websites like indiestimes.com and Campus Progress. But I also draw cartoons for the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, LGBT press. I've been doing that for 7 years, mainly for Bay Windows, a gay newspaper in Boston. And I draw as well for feminist publications like I said before, Ms. and Bitch. I tend to my cartoon's called The Boiling Point because I had to name it within like 15 minutes of the first time an alt weekly editor from the Phoenix said, well, what's the name of your strip? We're about to run it and I don't have a title. So that's where I came up with The Boiling Point. But it really is, I do feel that I tend to draw about whatever's really getting to me, like whatever really makes me so mad that if I didn't draw it, I'd really be in a pickle. And that's kind of my approach to cartooning, which is not to say I don't try to be funny, because I do, and I think I am funny, but I think I tend to really get out the anger through the pen, and it's kind of cathartic for me.
Well, any last words?
Follow me on Twitter.
Yeah.
Twitter.com/slowpokejen.
Okay.
Twitter.com/M1KHAELA. Maybe the spelling of that wasn't the best marketing, but yes, that's my name.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thanks.